Why is it that when some people speak, everyone is enthralled, while others can talk about the same thing and no one is interested? Even with all their obvious faults, dictators are able to wield tremendous influence. What is the secret of this power? It is called magnetism. Magnetism, the inherent power of the soul. Lecture by Paramahansa Yogananda in 1939. Everyone is divinely endowed with personal magnetism. Then why do some obviously possess it and others seem not to? It is because very few know how to develop that magnetism. It lies dormant in most people. Many of the faculties the Lord has given us remain dormant within for lack of use. What is magnetism? Hypnotism has been called animal magnetism. It is a sort of mental chloroform administered through the suggestions of the hypnotist. But spiritual magnetism is something different. It is the power of the soul to attract or create whatever it needs for all around happiness and well-being. The magnetism of most people is not so highly evolved. It is predominantly on the plane of animal or physical magnetism, subject to the cosmic hypnosis of Maya or world delusion, and functions primarily on the level of materialism. Calmness protects you from negative vibrations. It has been shown that 6 years of man's life are cut off because he lives in the midst of noisy vibrations, of too much noise. When you are nervous, you are more receptive to disturbing vibrations of all kinds, which further affect the nervous system. When you are calm, irritating vibrations cannot disturb you. They get at you when you are cranky and nervous, but the minute you become calm and strong in mind again, they cannot touch you. Change and strengthen your own vibrations by thinking, I am peaceful, or I am happy. Day after day, affirm that thought, and you will develop that peaceful or happy magnetism. If you find that your environment isn't suited to your goals, find another that will aid you. By changing to the right environment, you help develop your magnetism and to change yourself for the better. Mix with those people who are models of what you like to be. If you want business magnetism, mix with businessmen. Keep your clothes and body clean and neat. And wherever you go, conduct yourself with the consciousness that you are the master of yourself. If you want to be a writer, seek those who have a literary vibration. if you want to be saintly, mix with holy people. How to steal magnetism from the saints. Great saints don't waste their time. You have to convince them of the urgency of your heart. Then they will be attracted to you, and you can steal magnetism from them. Automatically, you will get their vibration if you are near them. But you can also feel their magnetism thousands of miles away because their spiritual vibrations are limitless. I receive the vibrations of my Guru Sri Yukteswar all the time. Even though he is now reborn on another plane. When he was still living in India, I used to feel his vibration. In this way, I came to know intuitively that he was going to leave his body, and then he wrote me, telling me he was just waiting for my return to India. I told Mr. Lin that I must go to my Guru Deva. He had waited 15 years for me, and I knew if I didn't go then, he would be gone. 3 months after my arrival in India, Master left his body. So it is true that you can receive the magnetism of saints even from a great distance because it is so powerful. If you want to be an artist, you have to mix with artists, to live among them. But you can receive magnetism from spiritual persons at any distance. Of course, they have to be spiritually developed in order to give that magnetism. And you have to be receptive in order to feel it. To receive magnetism from spiritual people, you should feel that they are with you as you meditate and pray. That thought brings their magnetism to you immediately. The vibrations of my prayers for others are very strong between the hours of 7 and 11 in the morning. Those vibrations are going on all the time, but they may be especially felt if you tune in during this period. While you are praying, visualize that I am praying with you, and you will feel a great reinforcement of power. Also, if you go to a place where masters have lived, the vibrations there will quicken your realization. That is the value of pilgrimages to holy places. When I went to the Holy Land, I felt great inspiration and realization. Jesus incarnated in that troubled land in a time of great difficulties to show that his magnetism could outride every evil. His divine vibrations are still there, just as strong as when he was physically present. Those who are in tune when they go there will feel that presence. But first, one has to meditate and prepare himself. Use your time wisely. Most people spend their time on useless things. Try each day to do something worthwhile so that you can feel you have made a contribution. that your life has some meaning. Great magnetism is developed by accomplishing something every day that you thought you couldn't do. Watch your thoughts. All your experiences come percolating through your thoughts. It is the company of your thoughts that uplifts or degrades you. You see, your body is a carriage drawn by 5 horses, the senses. You, the soul, are the owner and driver of this carriage. Unless you use the reins of the mind to control these horses, the carriage will go out of control and run into the ditch of disease, suffering, and ignorance. If you want the carriage to carry you successfully through life and to take you to God's kingdom, which is your true destination, you must control these 5 sense horses. Through such control, you will attain self-mastery and thus real happiness. Why waste time? Use your time to meditate and to study magazines such as Inner Culture, which inspire you with right thoughts. You can so easily kill time. A whole life can be wasted. You are the master of the moments of your life. Use them wisely so that they will give you your salvation. Why spend time in cards and useless things? I have seen that people sit and play cards for hours on end in smoke-filled rooms. Such a waste of life is the most vicious thing you can do to your soul. So much time is consumed, and it gives you nothing in return. For relaxation, it is better to get out and walk and have some healthful exercise. Don't be a chatterbox. And if you would have magnetism, don't talk too much. Don't be a chatterbox. Talk, talk, talk. Idle talk dissipates your magnetism. It is also dangerous because those who talk too much always end up saying the wrong thing. These little words that come out of the cannon of the mouth have the power to explode empires, or if they come from a man of wisdom, to bring peace. The person who talks too much is a shallow thinker and has very little magnetism. But when a silent man of wisdom talks, people listen. That is how my guru was. When he spoke, his words were full of meaning and power. Otherwise, he was silent. As soon as 2 or more people get together, each one wants to be heard, and no one wants to listen. Learn to listen more, to sit quietly and enjoy the company of others. When you do talk, give your whole attention to the person you are talking to, and talk sense. When you speak with your soul, everyone will want to listen. The power of the whole world and the truth of God will be behind your words. You will change others with your words. That is magnetism. If you would develop magnetism, you must also learn to introspect and keep a daily mental diary of what you have done. You will be surprised at the amount of time wasted in doing nothing. Whoever would be great should analyze himself in this way. Every night, sit still and ask yourself, what have I done today? This will help you to see clearly how you can use your time more wisely. If you remember just this one key, you will become a different person. As soon as you take control of your life and start doing what you should do, your willpower is developing, and so is your magnetism. Our only savior is our willpower. Will is the switch that controls everything in this universe. If you don't exercise your willpower, you will be a weakling, easily influenced by your environment. Development of the will is the secret of magnetism. Men of success are men of great willpower. When you develop will, no matter how you are pounded down by life, you will rise again and say, I am successful. I can win. Suppose you tell yourself, now today I will find time to meditate. Do it. Sit for at least a few minutes. The next day, resolve to stay a little longer in meditation. And the next day, in spite of obstacles, make a little more effort. Accomplish something by your will. That is how to develop magnetism. The magnetism of unselfish love. Cultivate within yourself that spiritual magnetism which is in Christ and Krishna and the Masters. In order to do this, you have to become unselfish. You must express selfless love for all. Try always to be helpful. Develop your usefulness to your family, to your community, to your friends. Be willing to help wherever you are. That makes you a magnetic person. If you want friends, you must learn to love all unselfishly. To use anyone for selfish ends is wrong. Very few persons love you for your own sake. But if you can love others without any motive, then you can have divine magnetism. Remember that truth. The husband should love the wife out of friendship, not because of her physical beauty. You should think of your friends not because of their riches, attractiveness, or power, but because you love them. The magnetism of unselfish love for all evolves when you are always ready to help others without any motive but to be a friend. Let God flow through you. Among the people who have come to me, there have been some that I immediately told, your motive is not right. Change your motive. A few have not liked it, but others have changed. Nothing is gained from being a hypocrite. The smartest person can't hide what is in his eyes. The whole story of one's life is written there. If you know how to recognize another's nature by his eyes, and you always pray, Lord, I want to know the truth about this person. I don't want to be deceived. You will feel right in your heart what his nature is. You will never make a mistake. When you are talking to others, hold the eyes of one you are talking to and speak with all the force of truth and the love of God behind your words. And when you shake hands, do so consciously, so that you give the magnetism of your sincere friendship. Try to help that person. Be positive and develop your own spiritual magnetism, and you will have the power to change others. With the eyes, you can convey that magnetism. Just look at the one you want to help and think, God's blessing is flowing through me. Never feel you are the doer. Let God flow through you continuously. Then wherever you go, you will be a magnet. Even at a distance, you can change an enemy. Just send him your love. One of my students told me how he had practiced this after hearing one of my lectures. An associate had maligned him and ruined his business. But still, whenever he thought of this man, he kept on giving him love. One day the student met him and treated him as if nothing had happened. They were coming down in the elevator together, and when they reached the outside, the student offered him a lift in his car. All the time, he was mentally giving him love. A few weeks later, the man came to the student and said, I must talk with you. I haven't been able to get you out of my mind. I wronged you. Now I must go from person to person to right the wrong I have done. And that he did. So if someone makes himself your enemy, go on trying to be kind to him. Be friendly from your heart and do something by which he will know you want to be friendly. If that doesn't work, just silently give him love. He will change. Love is powerful. It absolutely will conquer. But it is wrong if your motive is to control that person. Never misuse the power of love, but continuously increase it to help others. The love of God is all-consuming. When I entered this path, everyone thought I was crazy. I used to sing my songs of devotion to God, and some in my family lamented that I had gone wrong. Whenever I sang, they used to hide themselves in sorrow for me. But in time, I convinced them that they were mistaken. Then they also began singing my songs of love for God and trying to meditate. They became my students right in my home. That is very unusual, for as it is said, a prophet is without honor in his own country. The love of God, the love of Spirit, is an all-consuming love. Once you have experienced it, it shall lead you on and on in the eternal realms. That love will never be taken away from your heart. It shall burn there, and in its fire you shall find the great magnetism of spirit that draws others unto you. and attracts whatsoever you truly need or desire. I tell you truthfully that all my questions have been answered, not through man, but through God. He is. He is. It is His Spirit that talks to you through me. It is His love that I speak of. Thrill after thrill. Like gentle zephyrs, His love comes over the soul. Day and night, week after week, year after year, it goes on increasing. You don't know where the end is. And that is what you are seeking, every one of you. You think you want human love and prosperity, but behind these, it is your Father who is calling you. If you realize He is greater than all His gifts, you will find Him. In the science of yoga meditation, India has given the answer to how to find Him. I traveled through that land. I sat at the feet of a true master. I am not only convinced that God is, but I give you my testimony of His presence. If you heed my words from your own realization, you too shall someday say that God is. You shall know I tell you the truth. Every blade of grass, every spark of fire, every thought you think testifies to His presence, His intelligence. He is the source whence all things come. But you are not conscious of Him. India specialized in the science of going to that source. God is not partial. Whoever has asked for Him and sought Him has received Him. Everything you have desired in your heart, in this and all former lives, is fulfilled in Him. Concentrate on the source of all power. India has shown you the technique by which you can do so. Meditation. When you read a wonderful book on science, or study about the body or the mind, you realize how many things you didn't know before about yourself and the world you live in. But if you use that time to meditate, to become more attuned to God, He who has created you and all things, you will gain so much more. Scientists do not make discoveries by prayer alone, but by the application of the laws of nature. Similarly, God comes to him who follows the law, who applies the science of meditation. People have wandered in the forest of theology and have lost themselves. In vain I went from temple to temple seeking God. But when I found the soul temples in great lovers of God, I saw that He was there. He is not bribed by the beautiful edifices. He comes to the tear-washed altar of the heart that is continuously calling unto Him. God is real. The masters who have devoted themselves to meditation for years and years have found him. Excerpts from the book The Divine Romance by Paramahansa Yogananda.